Welcome to At the Table, and as usual, I have no idea what I'm going to say about our guest until we start, because I do the silent treatment. I start to ask them questions in the beginning, and then it never comes across as exciting on film. So I know nothing about him, except for the fact that, well, we'll talk about some of the stuff I know about you. But Brandon Wolf is from the East Coast. He's from Columbus, Ohio. Used to work with Penguin. He's now here at Murphy's to do what he does with coins. He specializes in coins. There's going to be a whole lot of clinking going on. So let's learn about him together. Brandon Wolf.
Yeah. How's it going, Greg?
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. So we're going to talk about coins.
We're going to talk about coins. We're going to talk about that beard first. That is just so conspicuous. It's out there. We got to get that out of the way here.
Okay.
So you got to mention that story.
Oh, the airport?
Yeah, this is funny to me.
So I was at the airport on my way here, leaving Columbus, the town that I live in, and they make me walk through the first metal detector, and then I had to go through the big, put your hands up, X-ray one, and then my bag got checked twice, and then the guy was like, "Are you Jewish? Are you Jewish?" And I was like, "No." And
he gave you one of these. So.
Yeah, he gave me one of these, and he's like, "Are you Muslim?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "So you just like it?" Like, yeah. I don't know.
What a rude son of a gun.
Yeah.
Wait, where is that in the operation manual to ask if you like it for security purposes?
Yeah, and then
hey, do you like that?
Then the blonde chick behind me didn't even have to take off her shoes, so...
That's crazy.
That's my
bias.
life.
I see a bias. And she was a bombshell. Come on, folks. Okay. So, back to the magic.
Okay, so...
Right.
Coin
so are you
stuff.
a hipster? What's going on there? You hide stuff back there?
Lazy. Lazy, kind of.
Lazy. Just one word, lazy.
More time to practice, I
know
suppose.
you're not lazy here, though. I heard you practicing earlier.
Yeah, I do a little bit of practice. I think we're going to start off with why coins, I think, is a good place to start, because there won't be any cards in this lecture, unfortunately.
Is it why only coins, or why you prefer coins over cards?
Why this is going to be a coin lecture,
okay.
I think.
But you still do...
I don't really do cards.
In the real world?
No, I got rid of them from my house. So
okay, because Ohio is very humid, and you do automatic double lifts.
Yes, and the deck likes to click a lot. So
got it.
So I like coins for a few reasons. I started out juggling. Actually, I started juggling when I was about 9. My dad taught me the basics of juggling, and I kind of find its applications of how you practice that very applicable to coin stuff. When you learn some kind of pattern that is, going up over this way, you want to learn it in the other hand, and I think that coin magic kind of allows you to do that more than card magic, because with cards you have a deck hand and then the hand that you do everything else with. You don't really see people switch their deck hand that often and do things. So I just find the ambidextrous nature of juggling to kind of apply more to coin magic.
And on the Dunning-Kruger scale?
I'm about a 9.
Look up Dunning-Kruger. Okay, but you're juggling. Where were you on?
So it's just I feel like being able to do things left-handed and right-handed, that's a very good skill to have. If you can do a retention vanish in your right hand and your left hand, that probably opens up more doors for you.
Good.
But the other reason I like coins is because they're loud. You can't really be anywhere practicing this without someone knowing that you have coins in your hands.
But also for performance.
Yeah, for performance.
You're saying, I'm here, I've arrived.
If you start just throwing coins in your hand, this gets pretty loud in a fairly quiet room. So it helps draw attention, and I think that the more attention you can get, just the better.
Do you do a close-up show where everybody sees it all at once, or do you walk around from group to group?
The coin stuff that I do, I mainly just do like more casually. I don't really do full-on like coin. Like half-hour shows of coin magic. It's more just, we're here hanging out. Let me just show you some stuff.
Professionally?
Nothing professionally, performance-wise.
Okay.
I do like a mind reading show.
You said do, but go ahead.
I do.
All right.
I do a mind reading show as well. That's what I do more professionally than the coin stuff. But I have fidgety hands, so I find practicing coin stuff really cool.
Cool. Let's see what you got.
So we'll start out with a retention vanish. It's probably one of my favorite coin moves. But let's mess that one up. We'll try that one more time. And it goes. And there's similarities to the way that I learned it, the traditional way that I learned this particular action on the retention vanish, and then there's some tips that I have for how I accomplish it. It's the same thing, just with some tweaks. And I think.
And what was your origin, David Roth's retention?
From Bobos.
Okay.
Just one of the variations of the coin vanish in Bobos. I think on chapter 3 is the chapter that the coin vanishes are on, and it's the one where your thumb's basically on the whole back of the coin, and you're gripping from here. So it looks like you're gripping completely on the edge, but your thumb's just hidden from the back. And
so you got a bigger purchase than it looks like from their side.
Mm-hmm. And all you're really doing is the action that I learned is you go back into a finger palm, this deep finger palm that's taught in Bobos, and that coin gets held at the base of the fingers. But I find speed is very important to the retention vanish. I think that's probably one of its key factors. So if you have point A and point B, Greg, what's the fastest way to point A and point B?
Straight line, of course.
Straight line. Well, there's actually a faster way, and it's kind of if you cheat, it's if you shorten the distance between A and B. And starting...
You trick questioned me.
I trick questioned you. If you start at the fingertips, this being A, and then this being B, that's several inches that you're kind of covering.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm going is right here.
Starting there.
No, I start at the fingertips, and then I end right like here, which is kind of a weird palm, because from the front, clearly sticks out. There's really no cover that you have from this straight angle, but when I do it, I end up turning my body, and now from the front, that coin is completely obscured. So even though it's sticking out, just by turning your body a little bit, obscures everything.
When do you eventually get it to finger palm? When you do that extra follow-up action?
It actually never goes to normal finger palm. There's a couple different things we do with it. So what I did the first time is it comes into this palm, and I just curl my fingers back into Matobe.
Okay.
And Matobe is something that I never really explored much, and up until I started doing my retention this way, just because it's so natural in the closing of your hand to kind of just get it in that position. So the first application is the Butobe vanish, and now there's actually, so I'm not a practicer of martial art. I don't practice martial arts at all, but I follow it. I like to study, just how they think about things. And in jiu-jitsu, they always talk about, having multiple ways to get out of something. You don't want to just be a one-trick pony when you're on the bottom. You want to have different ways of getting out. So much like jiu-jitsu and the retention vanish, you're able to go elsewhere with that palm. And what I did there is, after the coin goes into that palm.
What palm do you call that?
I called it just a high finger palm. I really don't know what I would call this particular thing, but since it sticks out, it's almost in a like an in the hand JW almost. It's very JW-esque at this point. So what I did.
And JW is?
JW is this grip.
What stands for?
Jimmy Wilson grip,
Okay.
or Fitch grip, some people call it.
You got to come up with a move just for the wolf palm.
The BW palm. But what's interesting about this is, because it's so close to JW, you can just bump it to JW.
Turn
and
that
it's
to the side a little bit if you could. Do that again, please.
so after it goes into the hand,
Yeah.
it's so close to JW that just with a little tiny movement.
Your economy of motion is very distinct. It's like it goes from point A to point B very quickly, no fumbling.
Mm-hmm. And then just from there, when they think the coin's here, you come up, you vanish, and then when you bring your hands down, this coin is just going to kind of fall into finger palm. So I guess that's the point where it actually
Okay.
lands into.
Because you talked about the finger palm earlier outside.
Well, yeah, that's just the traditional way it's taught, and I feel like if
I see.
If you don't know that there's other parts you can actually put the coin, then you're probably just going to go from fingertip to where it's taught.
I think a natural question would be, you do all this unconventional grips, and you're taking a lot of chances if the audience is panoramic. So you got to be really cognizant of your angles.
Oh yeah, very. Always step back a little bit. If there's people like with the JW, for example, your angles, straight to your left and your right are not good. So I would say in that situation, maybe a Matobe palm would have been a better way to go. And actually, the way that I go most often is a different kind of out from the vanish. So we come in and we come up, and now you can show both hands completely empty. And that goes into Jeff Lotta's nowhere palm. So from the retention, all you have to really do is kind of release pressure with your pinky as like a little base. It'll just fall right there, and you can re-grip with your ring finger into that third finger nowhere palm.
It's just that easy.
So yeah, and just from that one, so you go into here, you have essentially three routes you can take. You can curl back into Matobe, bump up to JW, or kind of fall back into nowhere palm.
Do you have a preference, or it's all based on your situation, the angles?
Situation and angles, typically. If I'm more surrounded, I tend to go nowhere palm, just because I can use this hand to cover any angle from from over here, and then it's generally from this to here, completely hidden. But I would say Matobe is probably the one that I use most often, just because of that natural. All you have to do is kind of close your hand and boom, and now you still have kind of full articulation of your fingers at that point. You don't have anything cramping up your putting tension in your hands. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And where would they find Matobe if they wanted to?
Matobe, there's a couple different sources. Some people refer to it as angle palm, and you can find information on it under that moniker. Then there's Dr. Matobe from Japan. He's got, I think it's called Another One, is where he has his work in it as well. So.
Okay, cool. So we're going to do a few applications and slides first, and then slides and then the applications.
Well, I just kind of wanted to go over just the basic retention, give people just a different perspective on how to do that particular
And you
slight.
prefer the larger coins, I presume?
I do prefer larger coins only because my hands are so large. A playing card can actually fit into this area of my hand without.
Yet you still want to do coins.
Yeah. And actually, like $50, I don't know where I put them. But they're so small to me anymore that they feel like quarters.
Quarters, yeah.
So I just stick with and they're more visual from a distance. You can kind of see them from 10, 20 feet away if you need to. So yeah. But what I really want to get into is probably my favorite of all palms, and it's known as balance palm. This is something that was devised by John Bourne, from Kansas, but now in New York. It's a pretty obscure thing. I came across it in, what was it called? Cutting Edge Cards and Coins on disc 2. He does a little expose on balance palm, and I kind of fell in love with it. It was a thing that he was doing one-handed and using like this kind of grip, which isn't bad, it's just not my type of style, and I adopted a two-handed method and kind of ran with it and have a bunch of different applications just based off of changing the method kind of changed a lot of different things about his technique.
I saw you practicing it earlier, and when I saw it straight on, it's deeply deceptive.
Thank you. We'll kind of start at the basics of what balance palm is, and then kind of just go from there. There's a lot of different applications, so we can kind of jam on just different things that you can do with it. Sure. So the first application is a vanish. Show you right here. So that's the basic performance of what a vanish using balance palm would look like. And it's kind of weird. So balance palm, it's kind of a misnomer because you're not palming anything, and it's not technically balancing. You have this spot on your thumb. The way that John came about it was trying to learn back thumb palm. There's a spot when you come back where the coin will just kind of rest. And it's resting on, you have the two digits in these two little bones in your thumb, the proximal digit, the one closer to your hand, and the webbing of your thumb. You have these two kind of pressure points where the coin's lying there. So it's not balancing, it's resting right on the crotch of your thumb. And from the front, you can have this open hand display using the middle finger contacting the thumb. And it pretty much shows a completely empty hand. although you have access to.
Especially if something that was at your fingertips.
Yeah. And so the way that John did it was almost like you would enter a down palm. He would come back this way. Like I said, I do a two-hand approach. And how this works is you want to have your hands chest height and with your thumb more or less at the 12 o'clock position. And when you come to bring your hands together, they're going to almost like windshield wiper in at the same time. So when your left hand moves, your right hand moves. And when the left hand comes down, you're going to tilt back. So it comes in and the coin goes back like this. So I'll show you closed,
Clever.
closed, and the coin's just resting there. And then I won't use the cover of my fingers, but it comes in and it kind of goes right there, and then you pretend to grip the coin. So that's one of the ways you can get into that, and that's just going there. And then what you're trying to like get across the idea is putting the coin at your fingertips, right there. So when the coin goes in, you want to pretend like it's still there. It's an idea I learned from Shudogawa and Apollo Robbins, where you want to bring your fingers down, but you don't want them to be flat, where they're kind of the line of the finger straight. You want to break that, make it a curve, and come down and actually pinch where that coin would be. It sells it a little bit better, and then they think the coin is here instead of its actual position here in the back. And now we come to how to steal. How do we steal from here? So we've come in, we've put the coin there. You have to kind of come from the back, and what I did, and I'll talk about a couple ways you can go about this, is I just stroked my beard. It's just natural for me to come back, and now my hand's in the back of my other hand, and I come in and grip with a JW grip as I pivot this way.
And that's the part that fooled me.
So I pivot out like this, and then you can take your time in rubbing this imaginary coin away.
Now, if you're not Jewish or Amish,
Yeah, so I was actually talking with Ian Dumford from the UK. He had an idea of adjusting his glasses. Adjusting his glasses. You can also adjust your hat. Any kind of, don't pick your nose. That's probably not a good one. But anything that would,
good
just
misdirection.
like just an itch on your face. Anything that would need you to maybe adjust your tie or something. But if you have a beard, I suggest stroking it.
Good.
So, and then from this, there's just a bunch of different things you can do. For example, instead of vanishing a coin, you can change the coin. And all that is the exact same motions of what we did here, except you have an extra coin in your finger, in a finger palm. So I start off with any coin, copper, Chinese, and then whatever coin in your fingertips. And when you place it into balance palm, you're going to feed this up into the fingers.
But looking like you're doing what?
Looking like you're just putting the coin into its spot.
Right, okay.
And then you're going to be gripping the coin like you were faking in the vanish, but because there is an actual coin, you don't really have to fake it. And then the steal is the same, and you just display a coin in your fingertips. And that's like a two-step method for doing the color change, because you're in finger palm, you're here, and you have a 1. Show this hand, and then you have a 2.
And obviously you have Chinese coins because of the hole and the contrast of the color.
Well, actually, so the reason I use Chinese coins, it's something of a recent thing that I've been using, but I was with my buddy Eric. We were doing a show in Columbus, and afterwards I was doing some coin stuff to the people that stuck around, and I had some coins on my lap, and I went down. I thought I picked up a copper coin, and I did the color change, and it was a silver coin to silver coin. So I had to play it off.
Wow, the date changed.
Yeah, I had to play it off like, I don't know what's wrong, and then I got the copper coin, did the actual change, and it worked out. But the reason I use Chinese coins now is based off of an idea that I learned from a chef. So I have some chef friends back in Ohio, and he had these plating spoons that he keeps in his sleeve. And One of them's just a solid spoon, so when he's like plating sauce or something, and then the other one has slots in it, so when he wants to pick up, whatever kind of food, and then let the sauce or whatever drain off of it before he puts it on the plate. But what was interesting is the handles, one was solid and one had a hole, and I was like, why are they like that? And he said that in the heat of the moment, you need to be able to know which spoon you're grabbing, and he's like, you can tell which one has the hole and which one doesn't have the hole. So that's why I started using Chinese coins, is if I pick it up, I can tell right away if it's the copper coin or the silver coin or the Chinese coin. So that's the...
In your pocket.
Yeah, in my pocket, on my lap, wherever it happens to be.
So that's clever. So you learn that from, so it's kind of
just from a chef. He explained it, and I was just like, wow, like maybe I should take the same precautions you're taking, because in the heat of the moment, your job is on the line, and my job's on the line. So that's why I use Chinese coins. But the that change happens in a two-step process. There's the load, the pause, and then the final reveal. What I find to be a little bit better is a single one-step process, which I think is what I showed you earlier. So what that looks like is we have a silver coin, and we just come in, and you can display, and the coin changes.
Now, how did that go from balance to...
Inside the hand? Practice. So that's the exact same mechanics. You're just doing everything all at once.
Was that just gravity, rotation?
Well, for the balance palm?
No, you went from balance to finger palm.
Yeah, kind of just gravity, and then changing the angle of your hand so it slides in a little better.
Do you want to break that down a little bit?
We can break that down. But first we'll go over just the same mechanics of this. Is you're going to place this in the balance palm, simultaneously push that out to the fingertips into this position. So you have your balance palm there, this is at the fingertips, and then from the front you have essentially clean hands. You have this in view and nothing else is in view. And then what I like to do is drop it to not only add a little bit of kind of singularity to the coin, but when I bring this back up, it allows me to do this kind of elevator action with my hands where they're going to be paying attention to this, and that kind of falls off into balance palm. And how I'm dropping it into my hand is after the change, this happens, and then it's probably going to happen fast, but you tilt the hand a little bit forward, not too forward, so where they kind of see over your hand, but enough to where the coin will start to have a little bit of less friction against the contact of your skin. And then just when you bring it down, it'll kind of slip into this little basket of a hand you have. Is that clear?
Yeah, that wasn't even finger palm. That dropped.
Well, yeah. Sometimes it'll drop into nowhere palm, depending on how I end up gripping it when it's falling.
Tell everybody on purpose. It always lands in the nowhere palm.
Always lands in nowhere palm, actually. And you want to know how dumb I am, Greg? I'm a pretty dumb guy. I did this color change for about 4 years before I came up with this idea, and it's nothing different. It's the exact same mechanics. But it just adds a little bit of a different visual to what I'm doing. So I have dollar coin. You come up and you do a change into a dollar bill. It took me 4 years to figure that out.
You're an idiot. I can't believe Dunning-Kruger would beg to differ.
I'm about a 9 on
that means
magic
you're a
trick
genius.
So that's a different variation you can do. Instead of doing coin to coin, you can do a coin to any kind of object, a cookie,
so
a dollar
now
bill.
you got me thinking now. What if you had another coin on the inside? So it looked like it appeared, and now it's on the inside. I don't know.
I mean, you could. I've never thought about that before. Wouldn't fit in.
And by the way, you prefer the balance palm is probably easier with a larger coin, right? Because there's more purchase to it.
Yeah. There's actually a little bit of a learning curve to using a $half because there's just less surface area on the smaller coins. Balance palm can be done with $half. I bet if your hands are smaller than mine, the size ratio would probably equal out to about what I'm working with. I wouldn't recommend doing balance palm with like quarters or like pennies, anything that's that small. It's probably not going to work too well.
Right.
But dollar coins, they just have such a large footprint on your thumb.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Quarters, probably not.
You might be able to try. I've never tried.
Those would be quarters, invisible in your hands.
Those feel like dimes. So yeah. I don't play with them too much.
Cool.
But let's see what we have.
What else did you learn from your chef friend?
How to eat a lot of food. How to get spoiled and just eat.
It's Foodini.
Foodini.
All right, let's move on.
So there's the way that we've covered balance palm so far is just this two-handed approach that's kind of chest height up, up this way. But there's a couple different ways you can enter balance palm, and one of them is kind of familiar in the execution of the movements, but achieves balance palm. So you can come up and vanish the coin from here, and vanish it from the left hand. And all that is instead of doing like a French drop motion, you're just letting the coin fall into balance palm. So as you come over into the French drop position, it just drops into balance, and you can come up. I always keep this hand a little closed to whoever I'm performing to. I know they're going to think that my left hand, but
Contains the coin.
yeah, my left hand contains the coin. But what I'm doing with my right, and we can go over this a little bit later. I just kind of wanted to illustrate the take, but I'm going into a second finger curl palm from balance palm.
But you have to make it look like it's gone from the right hand, like a spider vanish psychology.
Yeah, it's like a spider vanish essentially, and this is something that that John had kind of worked on, is the stealing it into second finger curl palm, and then you have a complete vanish by letting it drop into your palm. But I just think learning this take is also pretty. It's easier, at least. It's not, you don't have to work on the timing of getting this to go back as this hand comes down. You're able to just boom.
Just put it there.
Yeah, and it's there's not much work to it.
And don't say boom as you do it.
Don't say boom.
Don't say
no,
that.
no. Especially at airports, don't say boom.
Don't say that with a beard like that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
With my look, by the way, I can't run through airports anymore.
You can't run through
No,
airports?
I have to be on time.
Okay. So
Especially singing my favorite song. La, 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 la.
So you're the 2 hour before guy?
I have to be the 2 hour before guy.
2 hour
yeah.
before guy.
I mean, you can't say, hi, Jack, to the TSA guys.
No.
You to bomb.
Unabomb.
And then ask for your gate. C4? I'm looking for C4. Anybody? And we're back to the coins.
Okay, back to the coins. And you can do a similar vanish like we did with the up here. You just start here, let it load into balance palm. So we're in this position. And in a kind of arcing motion, you wanna mimic like this type of thing. So you come up, and in this coming over to this side, you're gonna steal. Start from the beginning. So you're here, you come up, steal, come down, and it's gone.
So it looks like you're just readjusting it?
Just kind of readjusting, and then coming down and.
Do that again to fool me with that. Let's see what's supposed to be happening.
So I come
So
over.
it looks like it's supposed to be in the right hand, readjusting it in the right hand. That's deeply deceptive.
And then
That's
it's
really
gone.
good. Try
Thank
that
you.
dead on with the camera. Let me see what that looks like on screen.
Go here, up. It's getting a little sloppy for you.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit easier version of doing the at chest height version.
We just found our promo clip.
Did we? Nice.
I think that was good.
Nice.
I'm making the unilateral editing decision there.
So outside of doing it like standing, we have the spider grip that we just talked about. Actually, there's something that I call, instead of the French drop, I call it the American drop, because it doesn't make sense at all. And what that looks like, and it's just a kind of variation on that spider grip that we just did, where we vanish it from here, and there is a coin, but it's not the silver coin you thought was hiding in my hand. And I don't know, it's just like a silly thing where everyone thinks that the coin's still in your left, and there is a coin, but when you open it, it just happens to be not what they were expecting.
I was still thinking about why it's called American drop, so I was half looking.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, what do you mean it makes no sense?
So all I'm doing is, I think this is crimp palm. I think that's what they call this. All I'm doing is keeping it here, so when I come into here, it just drops into finger palm as I come out and balance palm. Vanish off that way.
You know what's striking me? How far behind, light years behind I am in coin magic.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. First of all, I'm learning new sleights, new terminology,
Okay.
and just to see you do it, I'm going, I'm not sure I could. First of all, the older I get, the drier my hands become. So I don't think I could do all that
I'm
stuff.
clammy.
Are you?
Sometimes the coins just stick to me like magnets.
Oh,
In
so-
Ohio, when the humidity is just in the summertime,
Oh, I
can't do
couldn't.
coin magic.
Well, that's why
You try to coin roll, doesn't work.
well, at least it's easier than cards,
Oh yeah, the great thing about these, they don't warp. You could drop
which could be an
you
interesting
could drop
fact.
them in puddles and you
So,
could just try
so
them out.
that is some. And speaking of brainstorming, those are some of the things you could do. It could go from an old coin to a new coin. It could go from a bent coin to a straight coin. What are a shiny coin and older? What have you thought of beyond just a Chinese to American?
Not much. It's just the action of changing one thing to another, and I just typically don't stay. I don't stray too far from coins. I kind of just stay in my little bubble of coin magic. So I'm sure there's, all different things you could do. Maybe we said not do quarters, but if you did like an old quarter, do a new quarter or something. I'm not sure.
You've got what you're showing me are numerous weapons in your quiver or your arsenal, and once you know those basics, then you can deviate and create a whole ton of ideas.
Oh yeah, and some of them even come accidentally, and that's something that I'm very proud of the accident that happened, and I think we went over a little bit ago. But what's really cool that you can also do with balance palm. Let me go over something first with balance palm. The comfortability of holding it in this palm, because it does get a little weird. You have motion up and down all day. If you move up and down just a vertical column, this coin's not going to go much of anywhere. It's only when you slide laterally that you start to have problems. So if you're getting into balance palm and you're maybe gesturing like forward, you're going to drop it. It's going to happen. So just learning how to be comfortable and not moving around too crazy, it'll keep it there.
Unless you want to lap.
Unless you want to lap. And that's actually what I was going to get to, is I was examining balance palm one day at my desk, and it fell. And then I was just thinking, like, well, the easiest way to vanish something is to not have anything at all. And I kind of was like that, and I was like, there might be something there. And at the time I discovered that, I was hanging out with Bizarro. We were eating the finest of Italian food, pizza, and we were discussing this vanish, and he actually helped me come up with some touches that just help really sell it a lot. And I'll kind of demonstrate what that looks like. Let me come down, and it just vanishes right there.
I want to see what that looks like on the
Okay.
screen.
So we have coin, come over, come down.
All right. And then you changed it into a pepperoni, and everybody was happy.
Yes.
That's sweet.
So this is something that I call the gravity pass, just because it's passing from my hand to my lap, just using gravity. You can enter in any kind of way. You can start up here and then go down, or you can do the French drop method. So we'll start just getting into balance palm. And the thing I said to not do, because it'll fall off, is what you're actually going to do. And all that is if I'll just put my hand down here. If you move forward, wherever the coin is directly above, well, it'll just fall straight there.
It never goes at an angle.
It'll sometimes maybe go a little forward just because of the friction that's on your hand. It'll kind of maybe go a little bit forward of your target, but generally, if you go fast enough, it will drop straight down. And one of the things that Bizarro had just mentioned was this is where the coin is existing and will fall down at. You want to kind of distance where you actually vanish the coin for them. So if you're back here away from the table, you come down, you want to be as far away from that point as possible. So you kind of extend your arm as far as you can, and then show.
Do you have to go this way? Does that have something to do with the angle, or can you go this way?
So,
like, for example, if I held my hand out, not only would there be cover because of my own hand,
that's a good point. I've
but
actually,
maybe you could go straight across. I'm wondering.
yeah, I've never considered that aspect of it, but there is something we'll talk about a little bit later that kind of addresses similar things. But I'm Sorry, what was the question before that?
So
I forget where we were at.
No, I was just saying, I like, you're going straight down. Was there a
yes,
reason for doing
so,
that?
So the reason for going
At an angle, I mean.
just well, you want to go forward, so you break that distance of where the
Right.
coin's dropping to where you're going. But you also want to follow your hand, or you want your hand to follow the coin and its speed down to your lap, because that's how you're able to hide its travel from here to here. Is when my hand goes down, it's going to the table at the same rate of speed as the coin is falling.
Yeah, Gary Willett had work on that.
Yes, yes.
What was that called?
I can't remember. Michael Easton was talking about that. And he had his own little work, and that's where I kind of discovered at that point. And it's brilliant. I would never have thought of it on my own. So cheers to those guys. But yeah, it's just into balance, and then down, and then you could also just combining. And this is kind of what I do. I take things that are, similar. A lot of my style's similar, and I just think, well, what if I just changed? What if I did it similar to like that color change? So if you went in and loaded like the color change, and you came down, you now have a complete
Super clean.
there's nothing to hide. There's no gimmicks. So just kind of like mixing and matching these techniques is kind of the goal of what I want to get across. Is you can just use a small number of things, but achieve a bunch of different effects in different scenarios as well.
Their utility tools.
So there's this, which I really love, being able to lap at a table. I think it's one of the strongest things you could do in vanishing, is have something completely vanish, sleeves up, nothing. But what if you don't have a table?
Just gonna ask that.
What if you don't have a table? The way that we're set up, I'm not sure if I'll be able to show just sitting at a chair. But what we could do is we could do the standing version. So this kind of applies to the same thing for being seated away from a table. If you're just like at a bar and you spin around on your bar stool, you don't have anything to lap in front of. But let me just show you what this looks like. And the coin vanishes. And all we're doing there
Great. That's great. That's smart.
is coming up into balance palm, showing the place where the coin should be again. And then I just stroke my beard, as I do. And when I put my hand down, you can see that my fingertips, or finger palm, is directly below where the coin is. So when I kind of gesture forward, it goes into this finger palm.
Smart.
And then I'm in Ramsey subtlety over here, so you think this hand is empty. You can come back, rub, and then all I'm doing here is kicking the coin back into a classic palm to show the back of my
A
hands.
lot of convincers there.
And then you can drop and then produce, put it in your pocket, do whatever you want from there. But
Go
that's
back to that one thing again, because I thought you were going to do the following, and I'm sure you've thought of it. So
here.
So where are you showing it gone now?
So it's at my fingertips, and I go like this.
Okay, so they think it's in your right
I think
hand.
it's here. And you come back. You
Okay,
rub.
what if you did this? What if you show your right hand empty? Now come over here and pretend to make it appear.
Like a Chris Korn
Yeah,
type
yeah.
thing? Yeah. I've never done that type of
sequence.
where it's, because I'm not sure how that would play of like here and then maybe just produce with the left hand. I'm not sure.
I like to show maybe it's invisible. It's not gone. It's invisible,
Okay, yeah,
and now
yeah.
look, it comes back. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we'll play with that later.
Play with it
knows?
now. Let's see what it looks
Okay,
like.
let's play with it now. So we go up. Go here.
No, show that right hand empty first.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I'm sorry. It's invisible. Comes back.
I don't hate that.
It's cute. It's cute.
It's cute.
I like it.
Be careful. In Richard's almanac, Richard described cute.
Okay.
He said C-U-T-E means C-R-A-P.
Okay.
So next time a magician goes, hey, that's cute.
Okay. So it's crap. Okay. Hear that.
I didn't say that. All right. Just playing. We're just playing.
And so to do this, a similar thing, let's say this table wasn't here and this was just my lap. What you can do is, once you're into balance palm, you can dust off your right knee, for example, and you could bring your hand essentially into your lap, but since we can't really show my lap, you would dust off your knee, come back to your like inner thigh a little bit, and just make a little basket with your hand. you've brushed, shown it empty, and then you can come down to your knee and just wipe away. So that's a way to use this without a table if you're just sitting like by a campfire.
What is your surefire?
The surefire way?
What is your ratio on that? Does it feel surefire?
I feel like it's not where I want it to be. I feel like there's some inconsistency in my movement where if a magician's watching me, he's going to be like, oh, that's where something happened. But I think laymen don't recognize that. But for myself, I think that it's still at least that without a table version is still in a little bit of work of progress.
Okay, good insight.
So that's the...
There's a couple questions here, by the way.
Oh, yeah, let's get...
Balance palm looks good. Maybe it can be used in a coins across routine?
Yes, there's a couple... I don't have any that I'm teaching today, but there's certainly... there's a single coin across that I'll talk about, which we can get into a little bit later. But as a multiple coin across, I don't really have that many moves for multiple coins and using...
Okay.
And using
and what
balance palm.
material do you sell that people can find? Do you have videos, books, lecture notes?
Yeah, I have a DVD, Wolf. It's easy to find, Wolf by Brandon Wolf, and then John Bourne.
It's just called Wolf.
Yeah, just called Wolf.
Okay.
John Bourne, you can find it in the Cutting Edge series disc set that I talked about, disc 2 on Cutting Edge Cards and Coins. It's with John Bourne and Jason Dean, and then he also has in John's lecture notes, Natural Born Killers. He's got a little section on balance palm as well.
Great. A couple quick last ones here. What are your thoughts on gimmicks coins? Why or why not do you use them?
So I got my first dollar shell last October. So it's been maybe, I don't know how many months is that, 6-7 months since I got my first shell. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I completely feel lost. I got a flipper coin about a month ago, and while practicing, I was being kind of an idiot and I threw it really high in the air, but I missed it on the way down and it hit the ground and just shattered everywhere.
Like Josiah?
Yes. And then I have a super triple coin that doesn't really see the light of day too often. So I have gimmicks and I'm trying to play with them, but I don't feel comfortable in using them. And I think just my knowledge and how they actually work just keeps me,
You're like the Ernest Eric of coins. Forget all the gimmicks, just do the hardcore stuff.
Yeah, and I think that, I don't know, there's something easier about not having to deal with gimmicks, because I felt like I had to have a really soft touch with certain things that I was doing, and you can be as rough as you want with real coins, and you could throw them on the ground and not worry about them getting bent out of shape.
Or spending them.
Yes, or spending them, that's a big one.
What books do you recommend on coins besides the Bible?
The Bible, this one?
That one there. That's called the Holy Bobo.
Bobo's Coin Magic. This is the new modern version. It's expanded, updated a little bit than the original paperback version that's been out. But I think this is probably the best go-to source.
I'm guessing you highlighted that with a paint roller.
Yes. You have David Roth. His books are fantastic. There's I think Coin Magic by Kaufman, I think is what that one's called. That's got great stuff in it. It's got all the stuff from Jeff Latta and Rubenstein and all those guys. And we have outside of books, you have the DVDs of like Ponta the Smith, all those Japanese guys that are just way better than I'll ever be. That's where I would look to, just kind of search around and just find maybe what you're interested in. Eric Jones is always a good source. He doesn't have books out, but I think Eric's a phenomenal coin magic teacher. So.
Right. I think Vanishing Ink just put out the old, what was that? There's 225 coin tricks. Was the symposium or something?
I'm not too sure.
Well, look up Vanishing Ink. There's
Coin Magic Seminar.
What is it again?
Coin Magic Seminar.
Coin Magic Seminar.
Oh, wow.
I said symposium. I say Vanishing Ink, and look who happens to be here.
Kyle.
Oh, that's not Joshua J? That's Kyle, ladies and gentlemen. What's your last name, Kyle?
Littleton.
Kyle Littleton. Well, thanks for being here. And so let's move on.
Cool. So with coin stuff, one of the easiest things to fall into when you're looking for material is you'll find there's a lot of knuckle busters in coin magic There's some in cards as well, but I just feel like there's a lot of the highly visual coin stuff is just you're gonna break your hands trying to learn it.
But you're not doing the difficult stuff for difficult's sake. You want something visual, and sometimes there's just no shortcuts.
Yeah, that's just sometimes like that's just what you have. That's your only option at that point. But I'm going to show you something that is actually I admit it is incredibly difficult. It is it's not easy, but I like the visual that it has, and hopefully you guys like it as well. So this is what it looks like. You have empty hands, and you just produce right at the fingertips. And I'll do that again for you. Come up here, and at the fingertips, just produce. And what we're doing from there, or for this, is we're using balance palm, but I'm taking advantage of the knowledge of JW grip, because I think anyone that's ever in this grip, if a magician sees it, he knows his index finger is wrapped around that coin, hiding behind the other fingers. But I want to be able to show you that it's not there. So essentially this position. But how do we get from JW to balance palm? And that was a puzzle that was hard for me to crack. And that's essentially what we're getting at.
Just a drop.
Kind of a drop. So there's the drop would be the coin coming down to the thumb. You don't want to do that because it'll just bounce and fall and be all bad. But instead you want to kind of reverse the action and bring the thumb up to the coin. So you're doing the same thing, you're just allowing the thumb to come up first. A way to practice this, to get the kind of the motions of what you need to do down first, is right now in JW you have this large opening. There's a lot of space created with the middle finger and the thumb right here. You want to contact the tips of your middle finger and your thumb. So this will take the space from being big to a little bit smaller, and this just keeps the coin from having that space to kind of fall through your hand. The next thing you want to do is tilt the wrist up. So we'll go from here, here, and then here. So the coin will show in JW, but that is fine for now. And then from here, you just kind of tip back into balance palm. And now that's the kind of like the basic way to start learning kind of how you're going to feel the moves, how the coin's going to like land in balance palm. I don't recommend when you do this to let them see that part before you do the move. You kind of want to make sure that that's done.
So as you're tilting forward.
As you're tilting forward, you kind of bring the thumb up. But
And can you do this 100 out of 100?
I would say 99 out of 100. I can do it.
Is this a go-to effect? If someone says, "Hey, show me something," boom, that's what you go into?
It's a good way to start out. You can have pretty empty hands. You're essentially showing all sides, and then at the fingertips, you produce a coin. There are a couple things that I want to kind of mention about this. The first one being, I do know it's hard. This is not a walk in the park. It took me, I would practice this in my house. I would drop coins, pick them up, and throw them across my house because I wasn't able to do it. And I was like, I know it will work. I just don't know how it's going to work. And I know it's hard. But the point I want to make is that it's learning something hard there's benefit in that. You're overcoming something, and then there's the reward of being like, wow, I was here, couldn't do it. I'm here, and now I can do it. So that's point number one. Point number two, there's an easier way to do this, a way easier way to do this. And it's one of the things that people ask me is like, I like the visual on that thing, but I haven't been able to, to actually figure out the mechanics for myself. So there's an easier way to do it. And looks a little bit like this. So you start off empty. Rub at the fingertips, you show, and then right at the fingertips, this coin comes. So almost the exact same mechanics.
If that's a lot easier.
A lot easier.
Because it looked the same.
So this one's starting off in my left hand in Jeff Latta's nowhere palm. And what I'm doing is pretending to pluck some fiber or something from my sleeve. And then from here, I'm just kind of grabbing the coin, just right out of nowhere palm. So coming over, grabbing, and then rotating up. So now we're in this position. Start here, grab, rotate. you're going to just take a hold of the top and bottom edge of the coin and move it over and kind of tip it back into balance palm.
And it looks like you were doing what?
Just kind of maybe playing with the space that's there. And then you're able to, at that point, so you're in nowhere, kind of come up, playing with the space.
That's completely clean.
And then to do the production part, with your middle finger, you're going to hit this inside edge of the coin, which flips it upward. And then your thumb can contact the bottom of the coin, the top of the coin, and you kind of switch. So
I love this.
your finger, even though your middle finger goes down first to do this, it's actually your index finger that ends up on the coin, but you don't really see or notice that there's any kind of finger switch.
I see where the juggling comes in, because this feels more like choreography.
Yeah, it's very very related to like coin manipulation as far as like it's less of
Invisible manipulation.
Yeah, I guess is the best way you could put it. It's very there's a lot of micro sub units involved in everything. So
And everything, and completely clean. You should end clean shaven at the end. How cool would that be? That's a whole different effect. Come on. At least half the side. So there's the effect and there's the method effect.
Yeah, the exposed face and then the magic.
There you go.
So that's two versions of how to produce from Balance Palm. One obviously hard and one way easier. I hope you guys have fun. Enjoy doing it every time I perform it. But I do understand if it's hard, and if you ever have questions, feel free to ask. I will give you all information you will need.
How will they find you?
Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just shoot me a message.
I'm just learning what those things are.
You're just learning what
Yeah,
those
I
are? Which
still-
one do you use?
This whole internet thing is still a fad. I give it 6 months.
It's 6 months.
I'm not sure this will, I don't even want to start because I know it's not going to be around. So,
With the gravity pass that we talked about, there's actually an interesting little routine you can do. So a balance palm.
how do you, before you go there, do you attempt to explain away silver dollars or why you even have them? Because a lot of people don't even know what a bloody silver dollar is.
Yeah, you can't even get them in banks anymore.
Yeah. And they don't
What?
have them in Vegas anymore. That used to be the common, in the slot machines.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
can't even do this anymore.
Yeah,
We
I don't
have to
even.
do this. Hey, I like gambling. What do you do? Oh, I like this thing. What is that?
They don't have levers. I've
No
never
levers
been
anymore.
to Vegas.
The old
Yeah.
casinos.
Well, I don't actually explain these away, especially when this comes out. I don't even know I don't know where I'd begin explaining that.
Yeah.
It's a weird Chinese thing. But here's a little trick with 2 coins that you could do using balance palm.
That's how you explain it away.
Yeah. So like we'll put one into the right hand. We'll put this one into the left hand,
Oh, that's wrong.
and they kind
That's
of
great.
jump across. And that kind of made a noise, so I'll do that again. We go into the right hand, and then into the left,
That's sweet.
and it
Do
goes
it
across.
direct. Screw them for a second. Let me.
So we have the right hand. Oh, that was a little bit better. Let me start that over for you.
Okay, do that without the oops. There we go.
Here.
That's great. That's
And
great. I really appreciate that.
This, if you're a little bit worried about that standing version of the balance palm where you kind of come out and then vanish into your hand, this kind of covers that motion of it dropping from hand to hand a little bit more. It uses a psychology term called figure ground differentiation, and that's a really big way to say the misdirection, essentially.
That means the empty space or the negative space. in
So
there?
like you know that image of a vase or
vase and
two
two
faces?
faces, yeah.
Your brain can know that it's both images, but it can only see one at a time. It's either going to see a vase or it'll see
the
two
figure
faces.
of the ground.
And yeah, so you can only see one thing at a time. And what we're doing here is in the action of taking the coin and putting it into balance palm, they're going to be focused on this. And when you kind of gesture that towards them, that kind of cancels out any kind of keeping track of that coin. Like it won't allow them to see that with
Unless
their
it's
eyes.
an unnatural motion and then something suspicious, but you covered it.
So we have the hand empty, and then you just kind of reach out, place that one into your hand using the Ramsey subtlety. And what's interesting is you could tell them pick a hand. This one, watch. They jump across. Or if you would have done the other one, pick a hand, and you just vanish,
That's great.
and it jumps over
That's great.
to the other hand.
That's great.
So that's a little 2-coin routine using the balance palm.
If there's one
Little
thing to
10
practice
pennies.
now,
One thing to practice is this
because
one.
again, you give tools and weapons, but where does it lead?
Yeah, it's a,
That's a great finish line. That's good.
and then let's go into.
You know what? I'd be tempted to try it now, but I don't have a close-up pad. Clink, clink, clunk, clink.
Yeah, we can move this one over.
No, keep going.
So
You don't want to see my learning curve.
there's also another little ditty with the balance palm that I can cover. Is it's another little production, which kind of shows the hands a little bit more throughout the whole thing. So you can grab with empty hand, and then produce right at the fingertips. And this is kind of a it's not the same as the gravity pass, but it acts similarly. You're going to start in a downs palm, so you can reach out with a pretty bare hand. And when you come across in front of you, you're going to be applying pressure with the middle finger into the coin, and you can see that it's going to just slip off of the thumb right into balance palm. This is something that John calls French pop, or not French pop, downs pop. He calls it downs pop. It's in downs palm, and it pops over into balance palm. But what we do from here, we reach out, we grab. Once it's in this balance palm, you want to show this hand empty, as it can be, I guess, from here, and then you're going to go up, and you're essentially
Gravity just allows it to.
dumping right into your Ramsey, and then you can produce.
Jason Bourne came up with the balance palm?
The balance
Because this
palm.
seems like this should have been invented by Downs 80 years ago.
Yeah, you would think. But it was actually just an accident when he was learning the back thumb palm. He was just like, oh.
And you're
I'll just
finding
stop
many
halfway,
practical
yeah.
uses, and then the Downs pop is even more practical.
Yeah. It's just
Indirect.
a little kind of little movement just creates a little bit extra play for what you're able to do. So,
Great.
do we have anything else?
I've got a
Balance
silly
palm
question.
for it.
If you're doing just coins, I don't even know how to ask this, let alone have you answer it. This sounds untoward, but how long can you go before they go, enough already with the coins?
I had this problem writing my lecture notes. I would be going over like the color change, and then the faster color change, and then this thing, and it was like these techniques are all kind of similar. It felt like I was polishing a turd a little bit, where it's like, are they even going to care how many ways I can use balance palm? And I feel like
You mean laymen or magicians?
anyone, I guess, because I mean, if you're a layman watching me, you're just going to be able to see that
Feels like more of the same.
the motions are kind of just similar in a way.
Yeah.
But even magicians, I feel like they're going to maybe just think that I have one too many ways of getting in
Well,
and out
those are
of
just
balance
choices. You're a waiter with a menu. But when you're performing for a layman, how many, 3 tricks of coins?
Maybe tops, yeah, at a time.
Yeah. And don't take my answer. Can you do a half hour of coins?
I probably could. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know off the top of my head what like the set list would be, but I could probably figure out 30 minutes of different material.
To keep their interest?
And there's some things that I do where we'll talk about click passes in a little bit, and there's a click pass that I do where you can do it, throughout your whole act, and it's just like that's the one click pass that you use, and even though it's the same technique, you're able to use it, the whole time, and it won't feel weird that you're using the same thing.
Okay.
But yeah. So click passes, you familiar?
Yeah.
You like them?
Of course.
I think
Well,
they're
it's awkward.
awkward, yes, a little bit. I think this is one of the main reasons why I actually use coins. And if you have card magic, all of your stuff is essentially things that are fooling your eye, whether it's your pass, they don't see the pass, or your diagonal palm shift, they don't see the diagonal palm shift. But this, you're able to kind of fool the ear. You're able to make them think they heard something that they didn't actually hear. And a basic click pass, for those that don't know about click passes, are you put one in the hand, you put the other one in the hand, and you hear and see both go in, but there's only one coin. And that's through the action of putting the coins in the hand, there's a sound that you hear, and your brain sees the coin and hears the sound at such a time that it thinks that it made the noise when it fell in the hand, even though it made the noise well before it was even in the hand.
An audio convincer.
Yeah, an audio convincer. So you not only have a visual illusion, but you have an audio illusion as well.
And when I said awkward, I meant the way I do it.
They're awkward when you do it.
It's not.
I think there is a bit of an awkwardness to them, and one of the problems I have is like the one that I demonstrated with. I don't think it's a bad click pass. It's just something. It's like country music. It's not my thing, but feel free to do it. I think that part of the problem stems from that click pass happened deep inside my hand, and I think that it actually is a little bit better to do a click pass at the fingertips. I think a fingertip click pass approach is just a little bit better visually, and I don't know, it just seems a little bit easier as well.
You know what? Look, here's what I do. The stupidest simple thing. I just do this.
That works.
That's all I do.
That works.
It's just like you put one there and hit the other one as you close your hand.
That works.
Because all this other stuff felt weird to me. I'm just not good with classic palming and timing it just right, and everything had to come back.
Yeah, and and all the clicks are happening deep in the hand.
And you have to, it's just
I'm going to be able to show you a way to do two different click passes at your fingertips. So everything happens at the fingertips and appears pretty clean. So we have 3 coins. We're going to put them in the hand. And we can just show that it's actually 2, and we have a coin retained into the right.
Was the first one just like a
straight? So the first, what's cool about this is it's progressively more real. The first move is fake, the second one's fake and real, and the last one is a completely genuine action. So you have the fan of coins, and these coins need to be fanned is if you had them stacked and you pushed your thumb up. So the front coin is on the bottom, the top coin is in the back. But you want to have these two held pretty tight, and this one's just kind of chilling. You're holding on to it, but there's not much pressure being applied there. And that's because when you go to do the count, the first coin is going to get tossed into a finger palm.
Oh, I didn't see that at all.
So when you come in, you're going to let the pressure of this coin kind of fall and catch right into a finger palm. And you mime catching it over here. But now you're in a position where if you're to throw a coin in and it doesn't make a sound, that's wrong, because there should be something in there that it would contact and make a noise. So you need to create that noise. How do you create that noise from here with nothing in the hand? You're going to actually create it with these 2 coins by rolling the pressure of the thumb off the top coin enough to where you're able to get this little bit of a gap in between the coins. And then on the way down, you kind of have a flicking back, which will strike the 2 coins together. So let me just show you that at full speed. And so that's the action you want to kind of create, and that's just allowing the coin to get a little bit of air in between it, and then kind of using momentum to throw that coin back against the other one, which would create the visual of it falling into your hand, and then the sound of it hitting another coin that should have been in there. And it's just, it fools everyone that I've shown, and it still blows my mind that even though the click is happening
way up high,
several inches above the hand, your brain sees it as happening in there. So the first coin, completely fake. Second coin, it goes in, but the sound is fake. And then
crazy.
The last one is real all the way around. So
I'd almost want to tell a layman what I did, just so they could appreciate it. Now look, here's what happened.
Yeah, check this out. Watch from behind me. So with this, you're able to end up with, they think a fistful of coins, and you still are one ahead.
A fistful of dollars.
What's that?
Go
Fistful of dollars. Okay. But what do click passes really allow you to do? It allows you to do coins across pretty easily. So they think 3 coins here, and allows you to have 1 coin kind of jump across.
What's the other one? Is it the Benzai grip, or the thing with the friction?
The Benzeus friction palm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there would
so
be
that is,
like,
yours is so much more
be
convincing than that.
3 and then like 2. But yeah, I think that's another thing. Well, I like Benzais for trip home. I use it quite frequently, but it's another one of those things where it's happening, deep in the hand and there's cover.
I guess it's all context, isn't it?
Whereas this one, it's all kind of out in the open and looks and sounds good. So
you must have other context for why you do the Benzais friction.
there's just different applications where if I'm going to use, there's a routine that I'll go over a little bit later where I start with the Benzais just because the next move I use is that click pass. So it's like I need the functions of both, but I don't want to do them directly back to back. We'll go over that in a little bit. But we can go over quickly a 2-coin click pass and then how to kind of combine those into a short routine. So 2 coins held at the fingertips and they go into the hand. And again, it's just the 1 coin that ends up at the end. And what we're doing here is again at the fingertips, and we're tossing one in, but there's a click being made, and it's kind of strange. I don't do card stuff, but this actually came about because of card magic. There was a thing Shin Lim was doing where I was watching him. He was doing some kind of weird pinch move. And I was like, that's weird. And I was playing with coins, pinching them, and I kind of came across like that old thing where you can, with the pressure and the stickiness. I was like, there's got to be something there.
But only if you live in Columbus.
Only if you live in Columbus with the humidity. If you live in, Las Vegas where it's just dry, nothing. But so instead of doing it with the coins like flush, so where they're clicking like this, I do a little bit of an offset. The offset is the coin on top is actually in front, and it's very important for how this click is going to work. You're almost, if you were to see this as like just the outlines of the coin, you have this coin, and then where they're together.
The Venn diagram.
The Venn diagram part, the very center. You want to pinch that really, really tight. And the reason you want to pinch it really tight is when you let go, they're going to pull away from each other, and it happens at such a speed. They don't make noise. It happens and it's silence.
Who discovered it? Is this you?
Just sitting around being bored. So that one kind of made a little bit of noise, but the tight pressure will aid in the sticking it to your fingers. So when they come apart, there's just nothing. So
Let me try that with my dry fingers. I'm not sure that would actually.
Death squeeze and then pull away. See?
Did I get lucky? Hold on.
Yeah. No, not beginner's luck.
Look at that.
So you're creating this space, and it's similar to how this one is, where we had to create that space to get that click. So when you let go, that's the space that's being created, and you're actually, I'm going to get rid of this coin. Actually, I'll keep it there. When you let go, this coin, you're going to re-grip. If you know the pinch vanish, the old ever
pumpkin seed.
Yeah, the pumpkin seed vanish.
Oh no, pumpkin seed is squirted.
Oh yeah, the pumpkin. Yeah, that is different.
Yeah.
The
squirt.
The pinch vanish is kind of what you're going to go for in the regrip, and when they separate and you regrip this top coin,
then one clinks off the other,
and it kind of goes back and hits off that one.
So smart. Oh, so smart.
So now you're left in this kind of position where, there's no possible way that a coin could be held there that they think.
That's the wolf grip.
Yeah, the wolf grip.
That's it.
So you're just here. It goes in. It happens right at the fingertips. And you can actually do these back to back with the original 3-coin click pass. So there's all 3. One goes across, and you say, look, we have the 2. Second one goes across, and then you could finish it up with the 3rd coin, however you like. But that's a way to do click passes at the fingertips and kind of use them back to back.
Fantastic. We got a couple more questions if you're into it here.
Yes.
Does Wolf have some multiple coin effects?
I do. We're getting very close to getting into those.
Okay.
Very close.
That was from Ben Goslin. He said, what books do you recommend? Let's see. Arriving Now. Did he expose the move condition? He says someone just said they're arriving now. Jacques Browerman. Did he expose the move? Can he show the lap?
I can show the lap. Like just the table lapping? Is that what you
one
mean?
lapping technique?
Or the tableless lap. I don't know which one he's referring to.
Let's just briefly do both, maybe.
Okay. So I gave you two options in the beginning how to get into balanced palm while seated. This way, I don't do seated anymore, coming up at chest height. I just feel it's weird in my elbows. I don't like it close to the table, so I usually start off with this.
And it feels more fair to be farther away.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more fair, and just the nature of my elbows being up and over, everything's over the table. It's just more comfortable for me mechanically. But we're going to enter balanced palm this way, so it's just you're coming in and the coin is falling into balanced palm as you come away. So we go here, and the coin is directly above my lap, away from the edge of the table. And what's going to happen is when you go forward, it's going to fall all the way to the ground.
You got stunt doubles over there.
I do have stunt doubles. Should have grabbed one. But we come up, kind of show the positioning of the coin, and then you can go down. And all that is, from the side view, is it's coming into balance and then going.
Is this something
straight down.
direct one-on-one, or can you get 2-3 people?
You can do it to, if there was like 3 people on the other side of this table, I could certainly do it, but you're in the position, you're too far.
Right.
You're too far over.
That's why I asked. What if I was on the other side in the same position?
He's probably directly right, is probably not good at all. But
Did you see it, Rosé?
Kyle would be.
Josiah?
Kyle would be in a good position. Anybody that's like at up to a 2 o'clock is pretty good.
Okay.
If you have maybe a wider table, like if this was a straight table instead of curving, I might have a little bit better angles with the actual dropping of the coin. But your angles of at least being in balanced palm kind of exclude anything.
You know what's interesting? When you read that there's something that's critically angled, some people have a tendency to go, oh, that's not for me. But there's numerous times where you're one-on-one. Numerous
All the
times you
time.
pull that arrow out of that particular quiver.
Oh yeah, I think one-on-one is probably where I probably perform one-on-one more than I do in front of like bigger audiences.
Because you're hanging out with friends at a Starbucks or something?
Yeah, and there's the friend that you've never met that's friends with the person that has seen magic, and they're like, show them magic. So there's always just opportunities to do the very angle-sensitive things.
You ever use your hat?
I don't actually.
You ever use your beard?
I do that thing.
Yeah.
Where you boop, boop.
Yeah.
I have tried using my beard, and it was a miserable. It was so bad. So
You did it for the TSA guy? He wasn't impressed?
No, he was not impressed. No, I did a hook coin.
Oh, no.
I thought I could try to get a hook coin and just hold it in my beard, and whenever I wanted to just like stroke my beard, I could steal it out, and then I'd have a coin palmed at that point. But what I found was the coins were too heavy. Even $50 I would put in there, and it would just eventually wiggle and fall out due to weight.
I think you stopped thinking too soon.
The reason I stopped was the other reason that it failed. When I would go up to like try to attach it into my beard, that needle would stab the underside of my jaw. So I was just constantly.
It became a color-changing coin, didn't it?
Yeah, I was just poking myself constantly, and it would fall.
But I mean, have a little gimmick up there. A little something, something.
Little something.
And then as you do the thing with the something.
Maybe like a magnet.
You guys, somebody come up with that's the wolf move.
I need to revisit
I think you
the
do.
beard holdout. I think
the beard holdout, the beard it.
The Billy Goat holdout.
There you go. We got to top it.
Yeah.
I really, I want to grow. If I could grow a beard.
Like you got some on your chin. Look at that.
Yeah, about that. That's as far as it grows. I'm part Cherokee.
Okay.
It's like there's patches everywhere. It's not pretty.
I can give you some.
I know. if I could grow more, I'd do a little. Yeah. Okay. Enough about that. We're done with hair. Okay. Great. Can you explain the click pass you did? Can you zoom in on it? Is it really even a move?
I don't know which, the 3 coin or the 2 coin. We'll
He
go for
wanted
both.
me to show my thing. But I don't
your
even.
thing.
It's not even a. Look, you put it there and you tap that. Any questions? You know what? I didn't want to do all that complicated stuff. I literally just put that one there and put that one there and closed. But what I did was, I guess Josiah wants to get on that. You do the exact same move twice. So you don't just place that there. You want to be consistent, right? Because the next one you can't do that. Or maybe you can do it. Oh, do it with the retention. I want to see you do it. So all I do is this. I start here, go down, pick that one up. Wait, how do I do it? No, I'm sorry. I leave it there. I fooled myself. Put that there and do the same thing with that one, the same move. So that's that one, and close at the same time. But do it your way now, because I'm not good with the retention. So you do this and then a retention. So maybe put that one in as a retention, and then do that as a retention. But click it at the same time.
My thumb.
Oh,
My thumb's going to prevent that.
well, go do it at an angle. Without the shoulder.
It's like the old.
Hey, I wonder when he did the move.
It's like the pass thing. When people do the pass.
Oh, yeah. Or
It's when I do my retention and my arm
the
goes
chicken
up.
wing
Yeah.
move.
The singular chicken wing.
So there you go. So well, another quick question. We got one more here. You're the best coin magician I've ever
Thank you.
seen. 5 exclamation marks.
Is that from Z?
Ben Goslin.
Oh, okay, I thought that might have been my buddy Z.
Okay. Hey Z, where are you, man?
Yeah.
He's taking some
Stop being
Z's over there.
Stop being so New Jersey.
How long have you been doing coin magic, and how much do you practice per day? You got a little time clock?
I would say I officially gave up cards, where I didn't really practice with cards anymore, in 2012, 2013, or maybe 2011. I was still living, I wasn't living in Columbus yet, and we were just hanging out with my buddy, and I was telling him, I was like, I think I'm done with cards. I'm just going to be a coin guy. And at first, he didn't think that I was actually going to be serious and be a coin guy, but
Isn't that cool to just say that too, though?
Yeah.
I
People ask me all the time. It's like you do that one card move, and so I have no clue what you're talking about, and I feel really good about saying.
Even if
I
you
don't
do know,
understand. Yeah.
you just go. I don't know.
The double what?
Oh, do you do double lifts with coins?
No, I do not do double lifts.
Don't
with
you
coins.
start? Didn't I see you practicing earlier where you had a Chinese coin hidden behind? Did I make that up? Like you
think-
wanted to show both hands empty, so you showed one coin. Wasn't one hiding behind the other, and then no?
Oh, that was in the color change that we did earlier. It was after the.
Did we show it?
Yeah, we went over that.
Oh.
I'll show it again if we need to see what that looks like.
Did it start? Did it start?
No.
Oh, I
It doesn't start together. No.
Got it. Well, one last question, and this we kind of addressed this already, but somebody said there's angle sensitive. It's angle sensitive. It's 180 degrees. Most of this stuff. Can you do things that are surrounded? So that's for one-on-one. You have things that designed for more panoramic.
The balance palm in general is not meant to be performed surrounded. Just
Maybe routines.
just in general,
Yeah,
something.
like later, we're going to get to things that can be done more surrounded.
Yeah. The 3 coin click pass into
there you
the
go.
2 coin, and then into getting the extra coin across. We'll be doing things like that. We'll actually go over several variations of routines that are more or less you could do fully surrounded.
Okay. Hey, encourage your buddies to Skype you.
Z, Skype us.
How do you encourage them? Hey, what's this? What's our Skype? It's on the screen. I'm blind.
At the table.
Okay.
With underscores instead of spaces.
That is the worst Skype name I ever. Okay.
What's at the table? I don't know. Let's
What's
find
this?
out.
Beard holdout. Maybe a coin shell or a flipper. Yeah.
Well, my flipper.
The shell gets stuck. here.
My flipper's broken, so it'd have to be a shell. We'll try that one.
Okay, you're not now just the best magician ever. You're the best human I've ever seen.
The best human.
Human.
Awesome. Who
Wow.
said that? Thank you, whoever said that.
Guest viewer. Oh, that guy.
You got a secret admirer.
Thanks for asking the questions, Greg. Jacques Brown. Okay.
Cool.
You just wanted to hear your name again, didn't you, Jacques? Come on.
Oh, Jacques. So I guess we'll get into the routines, the surrounding routines.
Okay. You set that guy up to say that, did you? You know what? I did.
I paid
have
him.
some
I paid him. He got
surrounding-
$50 out of me.
In coins.
Yes, $50 in coins. That's actually like $80 if you go to sell them because of the inflation on the value. But we'll start with the 3 coins
Oh, that's so deceptive.
into the hand, and the first one will go across. And we have 2. Oop. 2 coins. And do this. Just 1 left, right? How many here?
2.
2. And we throw the last one up and catch it on the right-hand side as well. So that's a way to get 3 coins from one side to the other. And we'll go over that in detail again. The only thing that's different so far is how I got the last coin. But you start with the 3, do the count, and with the coin that you have stolen from the beginning, just kind of push that out. That's coin number 1. Coin number 2 is the 2 coin fingertip click pass. So they think 2's here. You have the 1 and 2. So all you're doing after you do the pinch move is it goes into a finger palm. Pick this up at the fingertips and kind of just drop, creating that.
I like that subtlety, by the way. When you're holding one, you do this. Yeah. It's a way to really emphasize the emptiness.
And then from this point, it's probably one of the moves in coins that people find daunting because it is kind of it is weird, especially when you first start learning it. You do it completely wrong and you just start slapping things. And it's the Old as the Hills hand ping chin. And we're just going to show the last coin in the hand as I close over. It will come to the table into its hand ping chin position, ready to come out as I display these 2. And I finger palm this bottom coin in a traditional finger palm as the top coin comes down. And I show the 2. So it's here, there's 1 left, close around it. How many? There's 2, and then throw.
For those who aren't catching the obvious and they don't know, 1 coin fell from here.
Oh, I did not explain that clear enough? Okay,
you may have, maybe I drifted, but
so yeah, you're gonna, in hand ping chen, you have your hand in a fist, and when it hits the table, the coin, even though it's starting in the center of my palm, once it's on the table, it's no longer at the center, it's resting completely at the bottom on the table. And what we're gonna do is throw 1 coin on top as it's retained, and we move this hand away. Obviously, you won't have your hand open like that. So it goes to the table, closed fist, and you want to do this like center mass of your body. So this is right in front of me.
see, these are good
And
little tips.
as you come over, throw right on top of that. And I try to catch. It's something that I
I
like
noticed
a little
that,
goal.
actually.
I try to catch them
You
in
caught
a
'em-
little
you caught 2 of them earlier.
in just a little bundle, and then you can kind of
Yeah.
separate them out. And they still think that there's a coin left in your hand because they go down. This hand's out of play. They just see 2, and then there's
the
no
last
extra work because it's already over there. And that's
And then the last one was the last one to go across. What was that? You did,
it was just the last one to go across. So we have 2, and then we have the 1 coin.
but how you do it, you just pretend
Kinda,
you're
just
throwing
do,
it in the
yeah.
air.
You could do any kind of thing where maybe it just goes across slowly, but I'm just doing a push out production.
You know what? I'd like to. Your buddy Z's on Skype, but
Okay.
let's before we go there, I want to challenge you. Not now,
Okay.
but to do all that without a table. Do you have a version? Because you've got so many clever moves where things fall into your hand with momentum.
There is a way that you could do the hand ping chin into
Spectator's hand.
spectator's hand. And there's actually a way, I don't have pockets in this hoodie, but I could maybe stand and use my pants pockets as a way to do a coins across where instead of placing them on a table, you put them into your pocket.
Okay, interesting.
But do we want to go to
Yeah.
Skype? Do we want to go to
Yeah,
Skype?
let's do your buddy.
Z,
Brendan,
what's up?
what's up? Long time no see.
Yeah, how you doing?
Okay-ish.
Okay-ish. Do you have any questions? You want to? Do you want to show off your coin stuff? I can stop lecturing for a little bit.
How do you grow a beer?
Drink lots of water.
Was that an Asian joke?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got. Oh, you did that the same time. That was crazy.
We planned it.
Wow. You have any champion New York coin moves?
What? Excuse me?
Champion New York coin moves.
No, I'm a card guy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No clinking from you. What do you have that's fascinating that you're going to show us?
Maybe this one? Yeah. My mom's here. 지금 전화한다.
Okay, if you do a Skype lap, that's cheating.
Alright. So, this coin.
Uh-oh.
And
Very nice.
What?
like that.
Don't you have anything brilliant? Is he putting a delay on there on purpose so you get this streak of brilliance? Do that one through the fist again. That looked great.
So, from here.
Oh, come on. That's wrong. That is wrong. That looks like it's coming out a piece at a time.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite things to watch.
What do you call that? Is that yours?
Yeah, coin through hand.
I spell it THRU, Mr. Wilson. Going through hand. That looks so good.
Thank you.
You have that in print, or you want to teach that to the folks here? I think they already saw it, but I'm sure you got details.
Yeah, it's actually published in Lost Art, but I don't mind sharing it if they don't mind. So
What again?
Lost Art with Eric Jones.
Okay.
So basically, you do a retention vanish. So you steal it out, and you have to use your middle finger to spin the coin out and stick it on the back of the hand, and tilt your wrist downwards. So even if you are holding the coin, you can't see the coin because of this thing right here, and you just pull it slowly down. Yeah.
You can't tell there's a gap between your knuckles and your wrist.
So
So even if you're here, because of this hand, you can't see it, and you just keep pulling it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! It's like a sun descending.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
great,
not a
Z.
poet. I almost tried to finish that. A sun descending through it went
Something.
down and stuff. That looks great, Z. Where are you from?
Thank you. New Jersey.
That's a New Jersey accent.
Right.
And there we have it. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. You got a parting comment for your buddy?
Stay sexy.
thanks, Z. I'll talk to you later.
Take care.
See ya.
Thanks for calling.
Wow, he's something else. He's so good with
Isn't that
coins.
great?
Yeah.
Well, he's obviously a fan. Sexy.
Yeah, I know. Calls me late night, whispers sweet nothings in my voicemail.
Wow. So he flashes deliberately.
Yeah, deliberately flashes me.
Great. That was worth it right there. That was really, really good.
Yeah. Do we have any extra questions from internet world?
We don't.
Cool. We can get into
Do you like that?
more routines.
Yeah.
Cool. So we can get into
So this is a silver dollar lecture.
silver dollar lecture.
Seriously, no 50-cent pieces, no.
There's
quarter?
a Chinese coin and a dollar,
Okay. This is,
but mostly silver dollars.
it's like the 99-cent store
The
with plus
$3.
one.
Yeah,
I don't
plus
know.
one. Plus two.
Okay.
So would kind of, like I said, there's a lot of similar moves that I use, and we'll kind of get into another way of doing that same coins across that we just did, and that looks like this. So we have the three coins over here. We get one, we get two, and then the last one, it will join over here, not quite yet, but we get it to come right across.
Cool.
So that's essentially the same as the first. The only thing that really differs is you do the click pass, and you
Now, what is that click pass called, by the way?
The whip click.
The whip click.
The whip click. Or
Is that yours?
Or the fingertip click pass, yeah.
Whip clip. I like that name.
Whip click
I
or
really, really like that.
fingertip click, or whatever else you want to call it. Not
I like
not
whip
too
click.
picky.
Whip clip. Clip or click?
Whip click.
Whip click, of course.
The P on the first word,
Yeah.
not the second. Although, if you're like me, you sometimes get it confused. So you do the whip click, and you're going to gesture by just putting the coin into a classic palm 3. Show them 3 because that's what they saw and heard, and that's what we're using is 3 coins.
So this one you
And-
could do with no patter, just
Yeah, so do 3. And then as I'm showing 3, I'm getting one of the coins into a heel clip position. And all that is the 2 coins that are resting right there. The action kind of will just slide out, and you clip it at the back of your hand with the tips of your fingers. So that's the standard heel clip. And could I just start over from the beginning? We have the 3. We go 1, 2, 3. You gesture 3 while you have the heel clip. You're going to come over while pointing and do a heel clip steal. So I'm trying to think of where I want to be for this. Is when you come over, your thumb and index finger in this pinching action are going to pinch this as you come over and just kind of point, and now you have 2 coins loaded here, 1 coin here. All you have to do is just produce the 1, take the 1 from classic palm, produce the second, and that's just kind of, a quick successive, how did those 2 coins just get across there? And then you can take your time with the last one, and all that was is a wolf vanish, or the wolf spider vanish, where you pick it up, it vanishes from here, and then you can just reproduce from here. So that is another kind of 3 coin.
I noticed when you were doing your moves, this gesture with the when you're copying it out. What do you call it when you clip it out? When you
for the heel clip.
yeah, but when you remove it from heel clip, your finger is in a natural position like this. You could say it goes up my sleeve. You're in a perfect
here,
position to
and
do that.
Yeah, you are. And it's and for those that didn't really see the, I don't know if I covered it that in detail, but when you do the steal, I'm not really holding on to anything with that coin. It's kind of just laying on that finger using the index finger for cover. So it's really not being held by any means. It's just kind of
Thumb's not even touching it.
yeah, nothing, just kind of sticking to my
So
hand.
that's where it's perfect just to do this.
You can kind of go over and then you could produce.
Can you, just for grins and giggles, can you do the clip with 2 coins so you don't have to do a false transfer at the end? So all 3 are in your right hand?
There is a way, we will go over that, but it uses something a little extra.
Okay, yeah.
A little extra.
Anticipation.
Anticipation. We have, kind of go right into that.
Do you do flourishes?
I can do a couple of the basic things where you roll it between your fingers. Clearly not right now because I'm under pressure, but I do those, and I do coin rolls, and then that Garrett Thomas pop off the arm thing. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No.
It's like a
Oh, yeah.
thing.
I've seen you do that. You do the thing with the coins. Weren't you doing that earlier?
I can.
Yeah.
I mean, one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a.
He goes,
flourish.
these things, I don't know.
Hey,
It'd be funny if you do this. Actually, you know what? Do that thing and then do the ch-ch-ch.
I don't know if I can go fast enough.
This whole thing? You put the 3 coins here and toss it
Oh yeah,
up.
and you toss.
You can't do it when you're sitting, but... Good night. Drive safely. Have a nice evening. And I got 1, and 2 vanished.
I don't know where that went.
I can't hold it much longer.
We're good though. Not quite sure.
Did you bring some stunt doubles?
It's in the back of that one. Very back of that.
That's where I like to put it.
Thank you.
Yes.
So here's another just quick variation on the same routine that we just did. You have 3 coins. They're going to go from this hand to this hand. Hopefully you don't see it happen. So they're all there. Just watch close as they all come to the right hand.
Oh,
So that's kind of what you were just talking
Yes.
about. It all happens.
Yeah,
so
that's smart.
The little bit extra thing is extra coins.
Yeah.
So I start with a Benzeus friction palm. For those that don't know, the weight of the coins creates more friction between the coin on the bottom against my skin. So it's just there's just less friction between the coins themselves and then the friction between that coin and my skin. So you're able to just dump and freely show these coins.
Clearly 3.
And I transfer to a classic palm over here and regrip these coins. So I'm in this position. And what this allows, because my fingers are still open, I can do that click pass and nothing's really gonna make extra noise in my hand. So we are loaded here and here, and it sounds like 3 coins, but it's just 2. And you're gonna do that same heel clip. When you come over, you just gotta be kind of careful not to let these 2 click. It's easier with $half, less material to hit against, but now you're all 3, you're loaded here. So
You're done, essentially.
You've got this crazy setup of palm, and then
That's a great illustration
one.
right there.
laying on top. And all this is really is just getting into like a finger palm, into like that kind of cap subtlety. So once you do the steel and you come over here, you're in that caps, and then you can just dump out
That's great.
all 3.
How about one last convincer? If you were at a table, just give it one of these. They don't know if that's 1 or 3.
Yeah, that's actually that's really good. Thanks for bringing that up. If you guys want to try that, go for
Let me
it.
see you do that from the beginning. I'm kind of curious.
So we've got the 3.
Super convinced.
We come over.
More convinced. Come on. Come on. That's wrong.
So that's like the same thing as that we did just before, just with an extra coin, and it does take up a lot of real estate in your hand. At first, your hand will get painful,
Oh, crampy.
it'll cramp up, and you'll wake up with a bad attitude. Oh, is that just me? Okay, that's just me.
Combine that with revolution, and then they get a little.
Ooh,
See, and then they get all kinds of.
oh yeah, all kinds of painful arthritis.
That was a shameless plug. All right, what else we? Okay, great.
Then we can kind of go into a 4-coin, something that's a little bit
Oh,
bit
you
longer.
do that last one standing, right?
Oh, yes. So this one you can do standing. If you have a coin, an extra coin, you can put it in your pocket and do the whip click. So you have 3 coins. That's all they see, and you produce this way. And then when you go to put this coin in your pocket, you don't actually put it in your pocket. You keep it palmed out. And the reason why this one is in here is because when we do the fingertip click pass and one comes across, when you add it in, it sounds as if it should. And
If
then,
you guys didn't hear that at home, that was a decisive click.
and then the last
in the
one comes
pocket.
over. So I'll kind of go over that in detail. We have the 3 coins that will whip click over. So we're in this position. Produce. And when you go in, just re-palm it out. Easy peasy. You have the 2 coins. They're going to execute the same 2-coin fingertip click pass, this time with a coin left in classic palm. Does make it a little bit more difficult, but it can be done. Try that one more time. One more time.
We'll fix that in
And
post.
we have the second one that comes, and because of the coin that's in the pocket, you can't really hear it inside the studio, but it clinks. And then you have the last coin, which you can do the Lotta French pop type thing, and then the last coin comes over. And I do end dirty quite often. This is something I want to address to people because I get asked, if you're doing a routine, how do you end clean? If you're doing a coins across with an extra coin.
I'm going to guess what you're going
How
to
do you
say.
play?
You don't. You don't.
I don't.
Have the tenacity, okay, balls,
Well-
to hold out.
Well, there's that option where you can hold out, but equally there's sometimes where I vanish 3 coins, and I end up just palming out 3 coins. And people are like, well, what do you do then? It's like, easy. I reproduce all 3 coins, so I don't have to end dirty. So if there's any time where...
If you get caught, or if they're suspicious, otherwise you just hold out?
Yeah, you can just hold out. I don't think there's any problem with holding out. Just, wait your time, and then when you can, go into your pockets. But that's something that people just often ask me is, how do you end clean? And I don't. That's just the simple answer is I kind of tough it out. If they suspect it and call me out, then I guess I lose at that point.
This is your quote of the whole lecture. Tough it out.
Tough it out.
Tough it out. I love that. Forget the beads of sweat diving off your furrowed brow. Just tough it out.
Because it's,
why would you
what other
have
option?
coins in your hand?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're standing like this, why would you have coins? And why would they suspect you?
Yeah. Just don't show them your palms like this. Don't.
But I like what you're doing, though. If they ever point, let me see your hand. Oh, you mean that one, or that one, or that one?
Yeah.
And then keep going, or that one, or that one.
So I think that if anyone was concerned about just ending dirty with that last one, just realize,
Knowing you have an out.
Yeah, you have an out, or you just, that's what you did. You made 3 coins go across, and there is no coin in your hand. You're just holding it out.
Great. Any more questions, gentlemen? And no, unless there's a refresh. No. Okay.
Cool. So I think we're like we'll go a little bit easier on the hands and what I'm about to go into.
So far, were these mostly finger popping knuckle busters?
Not all of them. Some of them just have a tendency to be like the wax production, which was the JW down to here. That's just something that you're going to have to practice, and I'm not really sure of a time frame. Maybe if you practice for 3 weeks, you might get it. 4 weeks, you might get it. But it's one of those things where that in and of itself is just hard. There's no way getting around it being hard. But there are some things like I find this to be easy, but some people have had just problems understanding how the click works.
But there's a rhythm to it as well.
Yeah, there is a rhythm. So it's kind of learning that and understanding that if it's not right at first, that's okay. You can do it wrong at first until you get there, and at that point it just becomes more rewarding once you finally achieve that.
Right.
But a question people often ask me is like, how do I have the ability to use my fingers in such a way where I'm doing these hard, sometimes knuckle busting things? And it comes down to, what do, athletes do? They work out. What do they work out? Their whole bodies. They need to use them to, run, jump, swim, do all that stuff. We need our hands as magicians, and I think that an often overlooked aspect of being a magician is exercising, your tools. These are your tools, and making them well-oiled machines. And I think different hand exercises are very important. Greg Irwin, I don't know if you're familiar with Greg, but he has the finger fitness stuff. He's got a website dedicated to all kinds of hand fitness, and I use a variety of different things that he sells. Those Chinese bao ding balls, those therapy balls that you kind of spin around, those the ones that have bells in them. I think using those just benefit the range of motion that you're able to do. He has different like fiddling. Just if you have I constantly fiddle with stuff, and he's got this little toy where you can just kind of just fidget with it. And I find that that toy in and of itself is built to add dexterity to your hand and add range of motion and all that stuff. And I think that just kind of taking a serious approach to maintaining your hands will allow you to do some of the harder things that you weren't able to do before then.
You think you need more exercising for coins over cards?
I don't think more is the right word. I just think if you want to start achieving more dynamic movements with your hands, you kind of have to, instead of learning just the motion of like the clip shift, for example, you want to learn that in and of itself is hard. You try to do the moves and you're going to hurt your hands because your hand it's not used to moving that way. But if you train your hand to just be a strong hand, when those things come around, you have more just range of motion, you have more flexibility, strength even. If they have those machines with you press with your fingers and there's springs and they have different tensions of those. I think just upping up, because the muscle pass, I don't do it the greatest, but I think if you work out your hand, that would just increase the amount of range that you have with a muscle pass, just because it's a stronger, a better machine.
Resistance training.
Yeah. So I think if anyone's having just trouble with, learning a move, maybe you're not able to get it because your hands don't move in the right way. Just look up different ways to stretch your hands before. So before you practice, just have a nice little stretching workout. Afterwards, kind of massage them to make sure that if they're sore, get all that bad pain out, and then maybe eventually adding all of those just benefits to your hands will benefit not only your hands themselves but the magic that you're performing.
Do you have any kind of lotions that you put on for dry hands or something for wet hands?
Rocco gave me this idea for this solution that he puts on, and I've used it.
Help to hold the glitter?
Yeah, it contains the glitter to just the palm. But no, it was the solution that kind of makes your hands, if they're clammy in a way, it makes them dry. But it also, when your hands are dry, you know how everything's slippery.
Oh, it's all in one.
It's kind of it makes them dry, but yet it gives grip. There's some tooth to what you're doing. So if you're doing some really hard palming work, you're palming several coins, using that solution really helps. I don't know the ingredients of it. He just kind of
You're killing me.
he told me there was a lot of things in it. But
it's his own.
Yeah, and it was just something that he makes, and I was just I think you're telling me there's more in it than there's actually in it. But some kind of just drying solution. But outside of that, I don't really. Something.
Something that.
Outside of that, I know they have different lotions that they've put on the market for magicians to use.
I haven't found anything great.
But I typically just try to avoid trying to, I don't know, well, let me try this lotion, let me try this lotion. It's just I'm just going to do it.
I'm actually, you know what? I completely forgot. There is something that's good. It's called Magician's Choice. Go look for that.
Okay.
That stuff's really fantastic. But I don't think you need it, though, because your moisture fits coins well, right?
Yeah, it tends to stick when I want it to stick, and I don't do any back of the hand work, so I don't have to worry about, because I'm fairly hairy on my arms, so the back of the hand, things just slide off. But with the palms, it's just double stick tape.
All right, what else we got?
I mean, we're.
I try to pretend. I try to put myself in the position of the viewer. They go, okay, enough with the hands.
Yeah. We can go into. Is there any extra questions? We can go into.
I thought there was at first. Could I see this thing continue to feed? But it's the same. No, same stuff. I should just make something up.
Cool. So we can get into a 4-coin routine. Something that's just longer, and there's just more parts to it. We have 4 coins starting on the left. Nothing more, nothing less, right? And just with a squeeze, we get one to jump across. With this. The 1 coin is now 2. How many here?
2.
2 coins. We throw the 1 up. Comes across, leaving us with 1 coin, and it's going to join the others, but not quite yet. Oh, not quite yet. We come up, it vanishes, comes back, and that's how 4 coins go from one side to the other. And that's kind of, some of these things might seem similar, and it's because they are. There's a lot of things that I just like the whip click. I use that, and then immediately after that, I use the hand ping chen, which we did in one of the earlier 3-coin routines. But for this, we start out with the 4 coins.
Do you prefer 4 or 3?
For 3-coin tricks, I prefer to use 3. With that extra added hidden coin, I'm not really a fan of using that for 3-coin tricks, but I do like doing it with 4 coins. Does that make sense? Am I clear with that?
The reason I ask is some people say in the early 80s, everybody did 4 coins across or 4 coins through the table. Then someone had the bright idea to make it just 3 because 1 is surprising, 2 is
a little bit more dynamic.
Is proof, and 3 is redundant. Mm-hmm. I mean, 3 proves you can do it a million times, so why do it 4?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know. I think with 4, I just
But
wanted to
that's what I'm
have.
saying. From your experience, you might have something.
I just think the 4 allowed me to create a slightly longer routine instead of just doing like quick trick and
Boom,
over.
boom, boom.
So this is where our Benzeus friction palm comes into play here. I show the 4 coins, no more, no less, and we don't throw all of them over, but you just want to do the Benzeus into the right hand or the opposite if you're left-handed, and you kind of just fan as you produce, and that's the first coin. And now it's kind of it's wrong because I started on the left. Here's where the coins are. I get them to the right, and now it's back to the left. So the coins started here, and it seems to be going this way. But I change it up by turning and placing it on my right-hand side. And so when I do the whip click, I'm now in position for coins to keep coming across, 2 and 2. And this is where we're going to do Hamping Chen again. So we get the coin in position, and even though there's 2 coins, we're going to keep pressure on the top coin to allow the loose coin to be Hamping Chen.
It became a verb.
Hamping Chen. Did the same thing with palming the bottom coin as the top one comes out. So over here, goes down, and now you're left in the position of having 1 coin in each hand. You can produce, showing that the 3rd coin has come across, and then we have the wolf spider vanish again, where we come up into balance palm and we steal with the 2nd finger curl palm as that goes into this classic, and from this position it just looks like your hands are empty. And now from here, this is the hardest thing. If you don't know how to muscle pass, the only way to learn how to muscle pass is to just kind of practice until it works. I show my hand empty as I kind of, almost like a hand washing, like starting a hand washing sequence. And as I come up into this Ramsey position with my hand, I just muscle pass the coin right over. So I come over and just boom, the coin comes over, and I'm able to show this hand empty. I pretend to pick something up from the apparently empty hand and then produce right at the fingertips.
It's very nice.
So that's how we get 4 coins to go from one side to the other.
If I could make a bold suggestion.
Yeah.
Each time it's appearing like this. So you've got 3 coins over here, or 4. Then this one, whoosh, you produce it there. The next one, you produce it like this. Oh, sorry, grab that. The next one, I have a broken finger, that's my excuse. The next one, you produce it like this. Can you produce it again like this, the second one? Or do you like that sequence of dropping it?
I just like the idea of you hear it, and even though like if you had 3 coins here and just 1 here and you did that, it would sound the same as 2 and 2. But I like the idea of like not knowing what exactly happened and then being like, look, the second one. Like this,
Right.
it's more for this moment than the actual moment of it coming across.
It's a way of saying I really have 2
It's
here
like, look,
and there's only 2 here.
It's like, look, if there's, at this moment, there's just no way for anything to come in or out of my hands, and I can do this and show like that is indeed
It's a
the
stop
case.
action view, so they know where everything's supposed
Yeah,
to be.
it's almost like I'm slowing down for their benefit,
Right.
in a way. So,
You know,
that's,
just for grins and giggles, let me just see what that would look like, if you don't mind.
so we have the 3 come up
Okay.
here, and I just don't know how I would get that out.
Yeah,
But
and that I'm not sure I love that pattern either.
yeah, it's called the
That was easy.
the grunt production.
It's the number 2 coin for a reason.
Yes.
Okay. When I can get that cameraman to laugh.
Only that one,
D. Wayne.
not that one.
All right.
And that pretty much comes to the end, unless anyone wants to start asking questions on previous material, or if you want to try to probe me for extra balance palm stuff.
No probing. Oh, here we go. Corn husker lotion is great.
What's Cornhusker?
Cornhusker. You're from the Midwest. Now, why do they call... I know you have an answer to this.
Chris, why is it called the Midwest?
Why is Ohio considered the Midwest? Come on, you're 2 states away from the Atlantic Ocean. Maybe 1 if you count the estuary of Pennsylvania.
We're really close to the East Coast, Chris.
Come on, Chris, what do you got?
I don't know.
Cornhusker. So you should know, you're from the Midwest.
Is it made in Ohio? We got a lot of corn.
There's no
right?
capital letters, though. So is it called Cornhusker lotion?
I'm not sure. I have to look this up. Maybe go to the store and pick some up.
Here's a guy who how long did it take to grow your beard? Now that's a very important magical question.
Well, I've been growing it, and it's not maintained very well right now. It's very bushy and wild, but I haven't shaved my face with a razor since 2008.
Really?
Yeah.
But trimmed it
I've trimmed it along the way, but a razor hasn't touched my cheeks since 2008.
You got a baby face under there.
I probably do. It's probably pale, really pale.
Funny. You should just do that and have this just white. What? Any routine ending with a jumbo coin? Somebody asks.
No, I don't own a jumbo coin, unfortunately. So, no, I haven't had time to play around with one.
You got to work out. Last set. It's all you. So that's it for there. No more questions.
No more questions.
No more Skyping.
No more New Jersey.
You know what? Let's do this. I would love to have you talk about, for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to put you on the spot,
Oh man.
what you like, what you love about Bobos. What would you suggest? Starting with some slights, then work your way to routines. Do you have some routines that got you to where you're at here? What would you say if someone just generally asked you questions about Bobo?
I think just the wealth of information, as far as I just did coin magic stuff where it was just my hands and coins. With Inside Bobos, they have things with, on this page that we opened
Silks
to,
right
there's soaks and handkerchiefs. They do things with, having hats or a bucket on a table that you're using. I know wands aren't really in fashion as much anymore, but there's things with wands and just different props. So I think Bobos is just a good place to learn not only the basics, but how to take coins out of just being used with other coins as props, like a miser's dream, where you're just doing, coin after coin after coin after coin. You're able to do maybe a coin through handkerchief type of thing, or the coins are vanishing from your hands and ending up into a hat or something like that. So I think just the ability to step out of coin on coin work and work with other props, I think it's a wealth of information, especially the new expanded edition that has, I don't even know how much more, 2 to 3 times more material than the original
From
Bobos.
modern day coin workers.
Well, I don't know how far back some of the new information goes, but there's just additions and annotations from the old book. So, and then a nice reference section in the back.
And if anything, I would love to see one magician out there. Do the effect with the best illustration in the whole book. What do you think that would be?
I'm not sure what the best.
The one where
illustration
the coin goes down
Oh yeah,
and then to the pocket?
Yeah.
We all look at it, we fantasize about it, we play the what if game. One day I'll make it. Go to a tailor, have that bloody thing made, and just do the. So, you guys must know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with the
I didn't know that was the one you're referring to, but once you started to describe
Yeah.
it, once you did this motion,
Exactly.
I knew exactly what you're talking
So there's
about.
like a little silk,
Some kind
tube
of
or something.
Yeah, some tube that
and doesn't it go in from the pocket down and into this pocket?
breast pocket through here into the outside.
And maybe you could hear it go. So look at Van, clink, clink, silently, or
Yeah.
little audio. So, well, there you go.
We have an audience question.
Oh,
So we were talking about Ohio being Midwest. I was just looking it up. And
Uh-oh.
it said it's actually Mid-East, and everybody that thinks it's Midwest is stuck in the 1700s.
you can't say Mideast anymore. That's a whole different meaning. And that beard comes into play now.
Yeah. That's why
He
that's
does
why I got
Middle Eastern
stuck.
magic.
You don't know
From
what
Ohio.
that meant? 1700s, I thought maybe.
1700. Oh, because I'm old and I should know more about. Yeah, I should.
I don't know what dinosaurs are like. I don't know.
You've got the History Channel. We're talking about. Well, we got to end on a bang. How do you use the coin purses anyway, besides just carrying them? Do you have any tricks with those? Oh, you know what? That great trick by Nathan Kranzo, with that
Which
little
one? He's got a lot
block.
of
He's got
those.
like, it takes the coins out of the purse, and at the very end, it just becomes a block or blob of black molten lava.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, he does a little switch with it at the end. And you go, here, put the coins back in the purse, and you go, oh, you son of a, when the heck did you do that?
Okay. I actually don't do anything. This is the coin purse that I carry, the Traveler, Jeff Copeland's coming out with Murphy's. A wealth
With
of-
whom?
Murphy's
Murphy's what?
Magic.
Like somewhere
Yes.
at the table.
And there's a lot of routines you can do with this. I honestly use it to carry my coins. I haven't used it as a prop. Although I would like to, I don't do any routines with either of these purses.
What is that one?
Just
That's the Dan and Dave
just another one. Yeah, actually, the reason I prefer this one is because it holds more coins
one? Okay.
than this one. But
So this is
no,
more
no,
functional.
yeah, just a carrier, so they don't jingle in my pocket as much.
Well, that was my last question I was going to ask you. You must be fun at the, besides your beard, at the airport with all your coin magic.
I'm not fun at the airport.
You got the earrings,
Yeah.
and the.
Yeah, they don't tend to like my kind, bearded, grumpy, scowly faced guys.
Yeah, don't you have a whole different attitude when you walk in?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's like, just assume the position.
Yeah.
Bring it on, boys. What
I
do
know.
you got?
I know the game.
Yeah,
I know.
two of you ain't enough. Come on. Well, great. This was fun.
It was fun.
Thank you so much. Good to see you again. You filmed some of my stuff out there at Penguin.
Yes.
What was it? Coffee? The coffee?
Whatever
thing?
we called coffee stuff at the time.
Coffee House Conjuring.
Yes.
There you go. Well, good to see you on this side of
Yeah.
the camera.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers.